Hey everybody, Beth Wilson with Pampered Chef. So I'm excited today because we're going to be using the quick cooker. This is my first time. I just got it in, and so my son asked to make spaghetti today. So I'm going to show you how we can do all the prep and the cook in the quick cooker itself. So the first thing we're going to do is cook our meat. And so I have it on the sear setting, so it's ready for me to be able to cook the meat in there before we start the actual process with the noodles. So the first thing I'm going to do is add the meat. And this is a little less than 1.5 pounds. The recipe I'm using calls for 1.5 pounds, but I think we're going to be good with that, with this. So we'll add, go ahead. As you can hear, it's cooking. We'll add that, and then we're going to add some onions. And really, this is just going to depend on like what your recipe calls for. I'm also going to add some garlic to give it that little extra flavor. Please bear with me, my chandelier is kind of low. Okay, so we are just going to cook it right here, just kind of like we would in a skillet with our oven. It smells super good. And as you can see, I'm using my mix and chop. So this is great to help kind of cook it all, get it out of the, these real quick, corners, making sure that it's evenly distributed. So I'm gonna let that kind of sit for a second. So depending on what kind of recipe that you have is how much you wanna cook, any extra ingredients that you might add. So I'm gonna continue with this for just a few minutes, and then once this is ready, I'll come back and we'll start with the next step. Welcome back. Okay, so we have finished searing our meat with our minced garlic and our onions, and so we've drained all the fat out. It's now back in here. So we're kind of going to step 2. So my recipe calls for 12 ounces of water. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in. And then I'm using ragu sauce with mine. It's whatever your preference would be. Prego, any of the other types that you might prefer. This is just one that my family prefers. Okay, so I'm going to stir that together real quick. And it smells amazing, by the way. I know y'all can't smell it, but it really does. It smells good. Okay, so we have all that mixed together. So now I'm going to, so we like to use penne in our spaghetti instead of regular spaghetti noodles. So it's really your preference. This would be if you use regular noodles to put them in. But ever since the pandemic, when we couldn't really find any spaghetti noodles, we use this as an alternative, and my kids tend to like it better. So it's one that we're just going to kind of keep using. So I'm going to put about half of the box in there. Let's see if I got to the side. And I'm just going to mix all that together. Now, I'm also going to use meatballs. My kids love meatballs. So, I know I mentioned earlier we didn't use as much ground beef as the recipe had called for, but we're going to make up with it with this. And so this we got in the freezer section of Kroger. So it's really whatever meatball preference you have. These are just ones that are kind of ready to go. So I'm just gonna add those to my mix as well. And so now I'm just gonna make sure that everything is mixed thoroughly. And gosh, there's a lot going on in this. So I wanna make sure everything is covered, mixed, before I put the top on and do the final setting. Okay, so I'm now going to, I don't know if you can hear that, but it makes a fun little noise to let you know that it is secured and on. So we're just gonna make sure all the settings are together. So for this one, this is a custom setting that we're using. So I'm gonna push the custom button, and then I'm gonna tell it how much time I wanna use. So I'm doing 6 minutes. So I'm gonna push it all the way down to 6. There we go. And then I wanna tell it how much pressure I want. So I wanna use the max amount of pressure. There we go. And then start. So as we wait, try not to hit my head. So as we wait, again, like this is a whole meal that we used in one thing from making the meat. So that's a whole different pan I don't have to clean. Cooking it, mixing it, and we're about to see the end product in just a few minutes. So that, to me, saves a lot of time, a lot of dishes that I don't have to wash, and it's gonna be amazing. And for me, as a mom of 2, and I do Pampered Chef on the side, so I have a full-time job, like this, for me, is invaluable, because you just can't find enough time in the day to make a great meal that you didn't already like pick up from the store, kind of pre-made, ready to go. So this is something that I know my kids will love. It's great. It's a hot meal that we cooked in the kitchen and we'll be able to eat together. And it won't take that much long at all. And as you can see, it's super easy and super quick. So I'm really excited about the quick cooker itself. I know I've had a lot of people in parties ask the lovely questions. Oh my gosh, what's the difference between this one and the Instapot? And I can tell you, from my standpoint as a somewhat, hopefully good cook, I was very intimidated with the Instapot. It would make me very nervous. Was it gonna explode? It just, from my standpoint, not very easy to understand how to use. This one, so the Pampered Chef Quick Cooker does have more programmable settings than the Instapot itself. And so for me, as you can see, like that was super easy directions for me to follow to be able to cook the spaghetti. Super easy. There's a cancel button this right there as well, in case, oh my gosh, I forgot something, I need to add it, or anything like that. So it just gives me more confidence in cooking with the actual product, knowing that I feel more comfortable with it and have a better understanding of how to use it. So for me, that's a big plus that Pampered Chef has over Instapot. I can also say my husband was one of those that was like, we don't need it, we have an Instapot. We don't need another quick cooker, we have it, we're good. But my mom actually bought one when she hosted a party with me, and we used hers just to kind of see like what is the benefits of the quick cooker, and he was sold immediately. Wow, like we are able to do a lot more options with this one than we were with the Instapot, and I knew if he was sold, then that's all that matters. So so we're going to give this a few more minutes, and then I'll be back with you with the final product. Okay, so welcome back to the final step. We're so excited. Okay, so it is ready. It has cooked. And so all I have to do is push this button, and it's going to release all the pressure, and then we will be able to open it. So it should take just a few seconds, and then we'll be ready to open and kind of reveal. So, so I wanted to kind of cover it. The cook time is 6 minutes, but that does not include the time that it takes for the actual cooker to build up to the pressure that we wanted. So it does take a little bit longer. So I don't want you to be like, oh my gosh, 6 minutes, we're ready to go. It will take an additional few more minutes than that for it to build up. And then once it gets to the pressure that you want it to go to, it will start counting down from the 6 minutes. It beeped to let me know that it was finished. We pushed the release button, and so now the steam is coming out. And I hope you can see it, but it is coming out. So once that completes, I believe it's gonna beep at us again and to let us know that it's safe for us to open. So super excited on that part. I know y'all might have tons of questions. You're welcome to send me messages on my website, on my Pampered Chef website. I'm not sure if you can send messages through YouTube, but either or. Okay, so I think we're ready. So I'm just gonna open it, and you'll hear the same noise as we did before. Oh my gosh, it smells amazing. So as you can see, I'm just gonna put that to the side. We have the meatballs, the pasta, the ground beef is in there. Smells divine. So some good options if you're doing this for your family, or maybe you're having a get together at your house. Some other like side dishes you could do is a nice salad. We're gonna do garlic bread to go along with ours, but I have a plate, so I kind of wanted you to see a little bit of what it looked like. Hoping I can get it out. So that is essentially meatballs, the finished product right there. How good does that look? And it smells amazing. So I would probably say 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes tops, prepping, cooking, ready to go. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Beth Wilson with Pampered Chef, and we'll see you next time.